Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're flipping our usual understanding of bureaucracy completely upside down. We usually think of paperwork as a chore, right? Or maybe a massive headache. But today, we're impartially examining a strategy from a group called the Iron Covenant, and they've outlined how to use legal paperwork, we're talking LLCs, 501c3s, state registries, as literal armor to build institutional authority. It is fascinating stuff.
Okay, let's just jump right in by asking the core question of this whole explainer. How exactly do you build a private tactical organization that the government can't shut down? Seriously, how do you operate high-stakes security missions without the local government seeing you as a threat and immediately moving to dismantle you?
Well, this quote right here hits the nail on the head. Good intentions aren't a legal defense. As the blueprint points out, in the eyes of the state, just trying to do good leaves you completely exposed to liability. If you don't have documented compliance, you aren't seen as a hero or protector. You get slapped with the highly dangerous label of a vigilante. And once bureaucracy labels you a vigilante, your operational lifespan drops to zero. Literally zero.
To see how they actually solve this, we're going to quickly walk through their operational briefing. We've got 1, the administrative shield strategy, 2, the dual entity architecture, 3, the federal 501c3 engine, 4, state compliance via COROS, 5, tactical licensing and ledgers, and 6, legitimacy through discipline. Basically, we're going to see how they use administrative paperwork not as a to-do list, but as a multi-layered tactical shield.
All right, Section 1, the administrative shield strategy, moving from vigilantism to institutional authority.
The blueprint makes it absolutely crystal clear. Mastering incorporation, tax filings, and state registries is the only way to survive. If you operate without this shield, you're asking for crushing liability and that lethal vigilante label we just talked about. But extreme compliance, that completely flips the script. You earn professional cooperation. You become a recognized partner to local law enforcement instead of a target. You are essentially using the government's own rulebook to force them to legitimize you.
Moving right along to Section 2. The dual entity architecture. This is all about separating risk from outreach.
Now, notice the deliberate separation here. It's a real game changer. On one side, you've got the Iron Covenant LLC. That's their for-profit security arm explicitly designed to safely contain all the high-risk licensed security operations. But on the other side, you have the Iron Covenant nonprofit. By securing that 501c3 status, this arm handles the public-facing stuff, community service, outreach, and grants. It is a highly tactical maneuver to isolate the liability of physical protection from the entity that actually builds public trust.
Okay, Section 3, the federal 501c3 engine and the massive power of IRS Form 1023-EZ.
Navigating the bureaucracy of this specific form, the 1023-EZ, is the key to unlocking federal legitimacy. Once successfully filed, the Iron Covenant isn't just some localized volunteer group anymore. Nope, they officially become a federally recognized nonprofit entity. It's wild to think about, but this single piece of paper fundamentally changes how the federal government interacts with them.
And here's where it really gets interesting. This number, right here, 10%. Because they are a recognized tax-exempt entity, they don't pay state sales tax. So when you're buying bulk field equipment, trauma kits, sleeping bags, water filtration, that tax exemption acts as a literal 10% financial force multiplier on every single dollar they spend. It's administrative leverage turning directly into physical gear. Plus, that 501c3 status opens up some massive operational doors. It gets access to millions in federal disaster relief and community safety grants from FEMA and Homeland Security. And on top of that, their mandatory annual Form 990 filings provide absolute public transparency. It's a public ledger that proves to anyone watching that their resources are strictly mission-driven. No personal gain, just the mission.
Let's zoom in to the state level for Section 4, state compliance via COROS, New Mexico's ultimate shield.
So in New Mexico, if you solicit donations, you have to be documented. Enter COROS, the Charitable Organization Registration and Online Services. It's a registry managed by the New Mexico Attorney General, and the blueprint actually refers to this as their ultimate shield. Imagine a local credit questioning the group's motives. Well, a COROS registration instantly shuts that down. You really can't call them a rogue group when the Attorney General recognizes them as a legitimate charitable solicitor, right? But to keep this specific layer of armor up, they have to meticulously file annual reports with the Secretary of State. These reports confirm their board of directors and registered agents, making sure they maintain an active and good standing status. Actually, it's pretty simple. One missed filing, and that shield drops entirely. Let's shift gears to the individuals on the ground. Section 5. Tactical licensing and ledgers and professionalizing security operations. Because the LLC provides physical protection, every member falls under the jurisdiction of the New Mexico Private Investigations and Security Guard Board. They step up through a tiered guard card system. It starts at Level 1 for basic safety and legal authority. Then Level 2 covers advanced tactics and defensive tools like batons. Finally, Level 3 allows for fully armed status, but only after psych evals, FBI background checks, and firearms tests. Operating with these mitigates liability completely.
And all of this feeds into the administrative heart of the Iron Covenant, the Master Operational Ledger. Think of this as the ultimate tactical resume. Look at the credential stacking column. They log every single FEMA certification, every medical cert like Stop the Bleed, every state guard card. Stacking all these credentials creates undeniable, documented tactical value.
Bringing it all together in our final section, legitimacy through discipline, how to speak the government's language.
Because their entire operational ledger is built on the Incident Command System, or ICS, they are literally speaking the exact same administrative language as government agencies. They aren't just well-intentioned citizens, they're plug-and-play ready for emergencies. When they show this meticulous ledger to a school district or the local sheriff's office, it proves they are a disciplined professional asset. The paperwork literally acts as a bridge for professional cooperation.
So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought for today's explainer. If an organization follows every single bureaucratic rule precisely, they file the 1023-EZ, register of COROS, stack those FEMA certs, and maintain Level 3 guard cards, do they legally earn the power to protect those the system has forgotten? By weaponizing paperwork into a defensive shield, it really forces us to ask if mastering the rules of the system is the ultimate loophole for private authority. It's a wildly fascinating look at the power of compliance. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.